Hey guys, this is Colton Steiner here, and I'm here with another video for you today, and this is going to be a little different to my channel. Usually I am uploading sports vlogs or video game content, but today I'm going to be doing a movie review. And the movie I'm going to be reviewing is probably one of my favorite movies of all time, is the Star Wars The Force Awakens. And I've been a huge Star Wars fan for majority of my life. It was probably the first franchise that I got into, and I just have been a fan of this series for so long. So when they announced they were going to make a new Star Wars and continue the saga, I was like, I'm watching that. And sure enough, J.J. Abrams, the director, did not disappoint. This is just going to be a review of the movie and what I thought about it, and some theories, I guess you would say, that I have for 8 or what happened. So this will be a spoiler review. So if you have not seen the movie, I beg that for the safety of your vision and that you do not watch this video until you see the movie. Once you see the movie, come back and we can just talk about it in the comment section below. And yeah, let's get right into it. It was a fantastic movie. I want to start out by saying that the director J.J. Abrams just did fantastic with bringing back the old trilogy and keeping it new in a new world too, which is harder to explain, but I think you guys get the picture. And it was just the cast in itself that made this movie great. It was a fantastic cast all around. They brought some key people back, and it was just a great movie. And let's get into the characters that I want to talk about. And let's start off with Rey, the scavenger. And Daisy Ridley, she is going to be an up-and-coming actress and be a pretty big actress because of this movie. She really brought the emotion part of what it was like to be a woman in Jakku. And what I mean by that is you kind of could relate to her, kind of. And I just really liked her. She was a relatable person. Like with the entire series of the Star Wars, there's that one person that just has to live a life alone. It was like for Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, and I'll be talking why that's relatable later on in the video. But the next character I want to talk about is Finn. Now, Finn was a stormtrooper that in his first battle realized that this wasn't the life that he was meant to live, and his original name was FN-2187, which is the name the First Order gives the stormtroopers. They assign them names, numbers, and it's just they are forced to grow up like that, basically like slaves, and they're forced to fight. But he doesn't want to live that life, so he gets out of it, saves Poe Dameron, and they go on and live and star in the rest of the movie. And let's move on to Poe Dameron. This guy was a great addition to the film, and because of what happens later in the movie, they have to have an awesome pilot. And while Rey is a great pilot, which I forgot to add, she has the blood of a Skywalker. And but yeah, he's a great pilot that will help lead the resistance. And going back to Finn, I loved the comedy that he brought to this movie. There hasn't, like in the previous Star Wars movies, there's been a good number of one-liners, but I honestly think in this movie there was probably more great one-liners in this one than the entire franchise previous 6 movies combined. There was just a lot of funny content because of the one-liners that he brought, and other characters brought too. So we've talked about Rey, we've talked about Finn, we talk about these new additions with Poe, but we haven't talked about Han Solo, Chewie, and Leia, the original who have appeared. And I'm so happy they brought them back and they were able to come back for this movie, because they bring they bring Star Wars back to life. Because if you don't add any of the original characters, it's not going to be the same. But even if they brought back one character, it would have brought a little bit more of a tighter feel to it. And I just like that they really brought him back, and they incorporated him into the next movies and up and coming movies, especially with Chewie. And when Han Solo died, that was one of my predictions going in, because in previous interviews I think I heard Harrison Ford saying that he was only going to do one more movie, or I don't know whether I heard this or not, but I think he said he wanted to die, but die in heroically, kind of. So I thought that was really good. Though while I hated to see it, I kind of assumed that was going to happen. And the way he died, I knew right when he was going to die. Right when he met Kylo Ren on that bridge in the middle. Yeah, you could kind of tell that was it. And speaking of Kylo Ren, he's the next person I'll talk about. Ben Solo, as I should say, as he's Han's son, Leia's son, and yeah, I like how they kept it. They didn't just add a new character, they made it more personal. And what I mean by that is, in previous ones, let's go start with Darth Vader. That one was a lot of personal, and why he turned to the dark side, and what made him Darth Vader. And now in the 8th one, what I want to see is the story of why Kylo Ren turned to the dark side, which I'll get into my theories later on in this review. But I liked him. He brought a sense of maliciousness and just evil to this movie. And he was it's when the opening scene in the village, when he just killed the innocent village people, and you could just kind of tell he was just an evil character that they had to add to this movie. And he's under that Snoke. They didn't really talk about him much, but I think there's a reason behind that. And there has been kind of ridiculous assumptions that he is Jar Jar Binks, and which honestly we can say that. I mean, we don't know. He could be. He could be transformed from Jar Jar Binks. We don't know. But what my theory is, could he be either the Chancellor or someone else? One person, I forget who he was, but he could save the ones that he loved from dying, and then he was killed in his sleep by his apprentice. But did he end up saving himself? Did he learn how to do that? But that's just one theory. I don't really want to get into that because I really don't know much about him. They just showed bits and pieces of him, and he's kind of the leader of the First Order, and kind of like the Palpatine Emperor. So yeah, let's go. BB-8. I love this little droid. He was he fit in for R2, because since they didn't use R2, he fit in very well. And what I mean by that is he has a personality that R2 also has. While R2 has a great personality in itself, like he's awesome, he's like kick butt type of droid, BB-8 has a funny personality and he's awesome. So he has a mix of both. But C-3PO, it just felt like they changed him a little bit. Like with a whole red arm, I didn't understand that at all. I think they'll address that in 8, whether Kylo Ren chopped it off or it was a whole weird. I don't know. It's that's the great thing that they did with this movie. They kept everything secret, so you don't know what anything is in this movie. So you're all just kind of thinking, wanting to know. Because when I left the theater all 3 times, I was like, man, I want to see the next one, man. I'm so pumped to see 8 now. Even though it's like a year and a half or 2 years down the road, I want to see it now. And I think they did a great job. I hope J.J. Abrams comes back and does 8, even though he hasn't committed to it yet. If he does, that would be awesome for the franchise, and it would really help build on as we go forward. And now I'm going to talk about the theories. The I kind of leaned toward it earlier in the video that Rey is Luke Skywalker's daughter. Now, in the movie, they kind of implied it, but they never really verbally said it. And the one thing that I have to say right at the beginning is when her and Finn are running away from the little town there, and they're like, "Oh, we need a pilot. Oh, we've got one. You." And was like that whole flying scene there when they steal the Millennium Falcon. It was like, "Oh, I don't know what was in me. I was just thinking that's her Skywalker gene. That her father was a pilot, her grandfather was a pilot. It's just in their blood." So that's what kind of sold me there. Then when she touched the lightsaber is when I really was confirmed that's when I really was committed that she was the daughter of Luke. And now the whole thing here, moving on to why she doesn't know who her father or who her family is because Kylo Ren killed all the Jedi, like Darth Vader. He turned from the dark side, and when Luke was training Kylo or Ben, trying to make him turn to the good side, and then he just turned. I don't know what happened, whether Snoke just kind of persuaded him to join the dark side. You got me, but I think it just really brought back the whole good turn to evil thing from that we saw in the previous movies. And when I first saw it, I didn't realize at the time, but the reason why she doesn't know Luke is her dad, Rey, is because when she was young, she didn't really get to see her dad because he was probably training Jedi. And then since she has the Force in her, since she was away, and after Kylo killed all the Jedi, he knew he had to hide her. So he hid her to Jakku, sent her there. Then we saw that in like that vision type thing after she touched the lightsaber, that there was a ship flying away. Now, was that Luke? Was that Luke's mother? Or was that someone else? I don't know. But that's just my theory, is that I think he sent her there because he wanted to keep her safe, because that's what happened to him. He got sent away to be safe away from Vader, and this is the other way where he got sent there to keep away from Kylo. Even though Kylo doesn't know who she is, I have a feeling he would have felt the Force in her and would have been a bad, probably would have killed her or persuaded her to join the dark side, and that wouldn't have been a good thing. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, which is connected to the Luke daughter thing, because this was a major theory that I had about it, was that Rey was Luke's daughter, is that Han and Leia knew that Rey was Luke's daughter. And you wouldn't really know it, but throughout the movie they say, "Oh, Han told me about the girl," and then Han told me about the girl. But they always cut away, because when Han was talking to Maz, he was like, "Who's the girl?" Then they cut away and go somewhere else. That could be where they'd say, "Oh, that's that girl there. She's the daughter of Luke. That she's here to bring balance to the Force and bring hope for us." So, yeah, while this was a great movie, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this movie. It's probably, I've told many of my friends this, family this is probably one of the biggest movies of the decade, if not ever. But there was one thing that I kind of had a problem with, was the way they ended it. I know they want to keep everything kind of secret and bring it to the 8-1, the next one, and they want to bring everything up in there and make people want to go see that one. But when they ended it with Rey on top of the mountain there, and we finally see Luke at the end with the final 2 minutes, 1 minute to 2 minutes there. We don't know what she holds out a lightsaber. I would have liked to hear a little bit more conversation or something, like him saying Rey or something, or my daughter, to just conclude that, or I've been waiting for you, or something on that line. But Yeah, the other thing I had a problem was Rey learning the Force as quickly as she did, and having her powers. Because in the previous 6 movies, when Luke was getting trained, he could barely feel the Force in him, and it took him a while to realize it. With her, it was like an hour, and Luke learned in days. And the way he didn't even get his first lightsaber battle until Empire Strikes Back. And here it was the first time she realized she has a Force. Now, the one defense I have about this is because she has had history with the staff, as we've seen, staff combat, which can probably relate. So that one I didn't really have a problem with. It was just the Force side. But besides that, those 2 minor things, I absolutely love the movie, and I advise you to see it again. See it again to see if you spot any other theories. Because now that I've seen it, if someone brings up another theory to me, I would love to have that conversation, like down in the comment section, and tell them, hey, this is what happened, this is what I thought. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you liked it, comment, like it. Yeah, because this was my first one. I want to know your thoughts on it, whether I did a good job, what I should do better. Your feedback is important to me, especially with the way my channel is, because I never know when my content's coming out. So thank you, have a great day, and I'll see you later.